Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. I'm going to chop it up for a little bit. I probably never asked this, but how y'all doing today? I hope y'all doing well. I hope y'all in relative good health, spectacular health. And I hope and pray that your money's up, and if not, that you get put in situations where your money's up, where you're allowed the right kind of opportunity for you to get your money up in the way that suits you best, that's catered to your talents, your gifts, your skills, your passions. I'm speaking your own money into your life. Even if you got a good job, I'm speaking your own money into your life. I tell you what, the difference between a working dollar and an entrepreneurial dollar, it gets real. It's like night and day. I felt richer, and I feel richer sometimes with 20 business dollars in my pocket that I made as an entrepreneur. 20. Whether it was a half a session, some encouraging text, whatever the case, I'm operating in that. You could call me a pseudo shrink if you want, because I don't have the big papers for the psychology degree. You know, you need like masters or better, and what I wanted to do with it, you got to go to the PhD level. But you know, to put it lightly, I don't really agree entirely with some of the practices that come with that school of thought and some of the ideologies. See, my thing is, I don't necessarily believe in what you would call the chemical rebalancing of the brain through outer means. You know, I still believe that, you know, outside of vitamins and nutrients or whatever the case, most of what you need for your chemical imbalance, if you have one, can be solved internally. And I say that lightly. I'm not making light of all of the chemistry that you have to know in order to understand the medicines, the dosages, the right cc's, right? Learning about volume and things like that. I get it. I can dig it. It all comes down to alchemy at the end of the day. And if you can feel things that you experience from the outside, then that's your medicine. If a person is depressed and all it takes is a comedy to change their mood, then guess what? You didn't have to pop a pill. You didn't have to give them a pill. Like that's a light example. But things affect the body, they affect the emotions. And knowing this, that entrepreneurial dollar was just, I felt more from it. For one thing, it didn't take nearly as much time to make an entrepreneurial dollar. But sometimes the times between pay just gets outrageous, and you really gotta have your nest egg gotta be on point. If you don't just jump into a windfall of opportunities. And I'm talking from the entrepreneurial sense, because there's some layers to the workforce that can be tricky, where you could be making more money and actually be worse off. Happens all the time. It's like magically, when you're making more money, magically there's bills to match that money. Eat that money right on up. Yep. You got new money coming in? Yep, go ahead. Get the new car, get the new chain. Go ahead. Go get the Jordans. Get them. But what's going to happen after that, if that money's not constantly coming in, and especially if it's not systematic, if you got to really go and get it every single time, it's like, man, you're getting paid by the hour. That means you gotta for every hour, you know, if you want paid, you gotta be there for at least an hour to get something. Right. Even if you live across town, even if you live across state. And truth be told, it can be even worse if you're making it on salary. I've seen people get $50,000 a year in salary, but their bosses is getting $75,000 worth of work out of them, and they can't change it because they're on salary. But when that money's coming in, and especially when it's coming in weekly, ooh, you know, you'll stay somewhere until your body break down. Sure will. Or if you can't take the pain anymore. And you usually don't realize, you know, if it's hard labor, you don't realize until later on, you know, when the medications start to match the bills. Medications start matching the salary. You find out that now you got to pay more for scripts because you got certain aches and pains that came with the job. If you was moving boxes, all kind of arthritis going on. If you was sitting down in a chair, all kind of arthritis going on, probably hypertension, probably diabetes, different things. If you're a sedentary lifestyle, if you're doing 8-9 hours a day just sitting in a chair, not moving, hardly ever get up, you can break your body down just as fast as if you in there moving boxes and grabbing this and grabbing that and helping with this. And likewise, even if you're out of the workforce, entrepreneurship can come with its own ills also. So don't let me let me dispel that myth, because yeah, you can have migraines between pay. You know, when it get hard. Sometimes it get hard. Remember one time I ate tuna fish for a whole month. Yeah, mixing it up with the ramen, calling myself fancy. Yeah, making real jail meals. The entrepreneur. But when you in the workforce, you ain't thinking like that, and the money's going out even faster because you're like, man, I could get this. Let me go get lunch. 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 You do that 3-4 days a week, 5-6 years. And you come across a financier who's going to add that up on you. You want to change the subject before they even start adding that stuff up, because you be like, man, I really blew that much money on food. At least clothing lasts if it's not tattered. But once you eat the meal, it's digested after that. That's it. It's not going to pay you any more. Your taste buds and your stomach. That's all. That they getting paid that one time. They're getting satisfied that one time. This goes with trinkets too. Oh, I was notorious for buying the most raggediest jewelry. You know what I mean? Because I like, man, just looking at the wrappers, like, man, I want me a couple of chains too. I don't care if they $15 a piece. I'm gonna get me a couple of chains, man. But man, all of them trinkets is silly. And if you get the real thing, you need other money on you for other stuff. You want to protect that chain, right? You don't want it to get yapped. So you might need other protections that cost other money. They got setups now where the good jobs are about a 1 to 1.5 hour bus ride. Sometimes going one way could be about 45 minutes. A person is like, they in grind mode for a good month. Once that first check come, they kicking down the dealership doors. Like the dealership is the drug dealer, like they dealing drugs rather than cars. I need it, man. I need it. I gotta go in on Sunday. Real talk. You ever had to go in on Sunday without a car? I sat there waiting on the bus for an hour. That never came. Had to walk all the way to the job. Wasn't that far from the house by car. But in dress shoes with a shirt and tie and blazer to walk 4.5 miles? I ain't want to be late. This was overtime. I was like, look, I'm gonna be El Cheapo today. I ain't about to wait on no cab. This is before Uber. I ain't about to wait on no cab for him to charge me $15 to go where I'm about to walk. I could walk there for free. This is, that's just how I think. But at the same time, in some of my best income earning years, I was at my most foolish, just doing stupid stuff with the money. Oh, blowing the money. You know what I mean? Like, I can't go nowhere without a full fifth of Grey Goose. I need my bottle of Belvy. I can't go nowhere without the quarter pound of that thing on me. Just blowing money. Oh, I like that shirt. I like that hat. I like those shoes. I like those jeans. Now, those are investments because 80% of what I wear is upscale clothing from like 2006, 2007. That time period that I worked at Macy's in the polo department, I never had to shop again. That polo stuff, man, and that Hugo Boss and all that Armani and all of that, man, that stuff be lasting in the wash. I'm talking about 500 washes later, the color is still there. I had so much polo, I had to give away garbage bags full of clothes because I was just nervous. At one point, I was like, did I wash this? I'm just smelling piles now. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I'm getting confused. And that means I got too much stuff. I get claustrophobic. Not in tight spaces, but whatever it means to feel like you got too much stuff and you start to feel claustrophobic, yeah, me having too much stuff triggers my anxiety. I'ma keep it a thou. Having too much stuff gets me a little anxious. It's not because I don't feel like I deserve it. It's just I don't want too much stuff. I like a lot of things just like everybody else like a lot of things. But I don't feel like I gotta have everything. Sometimes I like to just look at stuff. I like how nice it look. It don't mean I gotta have it. I don't even want it. Sometimes I want to see somebody else with it. That's why it's hard for me to hate on anybody. I can't hate on nobody because I'm like, look, the money's there to be spent. The riches are there to be had. Things are created to be possessed now. Whether I got it or somebody else got it, look, somebody gonna enjoy it. And that's all there is to it. Super T Sigma programming, continue to stay motivated and stay wise. Peace.